Hi everybody, my name is Professor Vicki Wenzel and I am going to be teaching your pathophysiology class this next 16 weeks, and it is Nursing 2710, Pathophysiology for Pre-Licensure Nursing. Your syllabus is online, so if you haven't had a chance to print your syllabus yet, please get online and print your syllabus for me so we can go through that. Just put me on hold for a few minutes and go do that so we can all of us be on the same page. Okay? So we're going to start talking about the syllabus on page 1, and we're going to go through this. Some of the stuff is the same thing you see every class you have at Wesleyan, so we're just going to do the most important parts, especially for pathophysiology. But as you can see, my name is on here. I have both my office number and my cell phone number. If it is a Monday through a Friday question, please call me in the office first. Okay? If it is on the weekends or the evenings, you may call my cell phone. You also can text me. I a lot of times will answer text quicker than the cell phone because sometimes I'm at places where you can't just always answer the phone. So either office during the week and during the day, or the cell phone in the evenings or on weekends and holidays. My email is vwenzel@nebraskawesleyan.edu, and it's on here. The class will be on Blackboard. It is all online except for one time, which you will be in class, and we're going to talk about that as we get going with the syllabus. Okay? It is all 16 weeks long, so this will not get over until about Christmas time. So we have a lot of time to spend, and we have a lot of stuff to study. It is worth 3 credits, which are 45 contact hours. The prerequisite should be a Bio 1090 or 1100, Anatomy and Physiology 1 and 2. And of course, Nursing 1910, Medical Terminology would be another thing that you'd have to take before you took this. Okay? So the course description, I'm going to let you read that because that is just something for you to know what the course is about, and I'm sure most of you already know a little bit about what pathophysiology is about. There are course requirements. We need to have active participation in this online course at least 3 times a week. So don't just get in there on a Monday and then don't get back to it till next Monday. Get in there 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week or more if you need to. Pathophysiology is one of those classes that you are going to use through your whole nursing career, not only here at Wesleyan, but when you get out in the real world and you're working. Okay? You'll need to have a computer or computer access. You'll need to know how to use Blackboard Learning Management System. That is what we're using yet this year. Microsoft Word and or PowerPoint, or both. Online library searches of databases for course-related subjects. You're going to have to read assigned readings. You're going to have to complete learning activities. You're going to have to meet assignment deadlines, and we have a lot of deadlines, okay? You're going to complete all assignments. You are going to uphold the Nebraska Wesleyan Course Academic Integrity Policy, and we're going to talk about that a little bit too as we go on through the syllabus. Probably the best way to use an internet browser would be to use Firefox. Works the best in Blackboard. Okay. Sometimes I've found that Chrome works really good too. Internet Explorer does not work so well. And you have to have internet access. And don't worry, we have all kinds of internet access here along at the campus. So the library has access, everybody has access. Okay? Computer requirements, I'm going to let you read that. You just have to be able to get on the internet and do your online courses. Okay, I might be swiveling around a little bit, but that's because the thing I'm using to record this is following this little thing on my neck, and so if I cover it up with the paper, it's trying to find me again. So anyway, that's where we are with that. Okay. The next page 2, we'll go to page 2, Google Chrome and Firefox. We've already talked a little bit about that. They're the preferred browsers for Blackboard. Okay. So you might want to have one or both of them loaded. I actually have all 3 loaded on my computer, so if one doesn't work well, I go to the other one. Okay, there is a learning styles inventory that can provide you with a quick guide to your own personal learning styles. It's a series of questions and then scoring the results. It will illustrate your dominant and secondary learning styles. It'll also understand that will enhance the study of skills. Boy, my printer did not work very well on my syllabus, so hopefully yours will be better when you go to print it. Anyway, you can try that URL in there and see how that works. So program learning objectives. The course will address the following BSN program learning objectives. Function as a baccalaureate generalist practitioner by translating, integrating, and applying concepts and knowledge from liberal education, including the humanities, behavioral, computational, and natural sciences for nursing care across the lifespan and within the continuum of healthcare environments. It will evaluate sources of evidence-based practice, including research and other scholarly works for applications in professional nursing practice. It will utilize multiple technologies to access and manage information to guide professional practice. And it will examine the effects that healthcare policy has upon providers and consumers in the healthcare system. The next one are the course objectives. So I'm going to let you read through the course objectives because these are the things we're going to want you to be able to do. Okay? And there actually are 18 course objectives. So read through all of them. And then the next table on page 3 is also a course objectives that you can look at. So we'll skip right on over here to page 4. Required materials. You're going to need to have this book, Pathophysiology by Story. It is the 3rd edition. I want you to have this book. You need to have this book, okay? It'll be in the library, or not in the library, in the bookstore, or you can also go to Amazon.com's probably got it. But it's a brand new edition, and it's a great book. I've been through it all already, and I think you're going to love it. It explains things well for us. That's what we want to do. The other thing that you need to have for this course and every other required course is Reference Point, and it will help you with your APA, okay? So please download Reference Point. I can't remember, I think it's like $25 or $30, but you need it through your whole nursing school, so please have Reference Point with you, okay? Some of the teaching methods and strategies we'll do some video lecture, virtual tutorials, reading, virtual puzzle activities, animations, simulations, case studies, videos, PowerPoints, discussion, and weekly study questions and web quests. So all of this stuff is going to be part of your learning for this since you're doing it online. Okay? Nebraska Wesleyan has a commitment to students with disabilities. So one of the big things, if you have like a disability, please let me know so we can work with that. And I'm going to let you read this whole thing, this whole little paragraph here. Okay? Statement of academic integrity. This is really important. Okay? Academic integrity is one of the basic principles of the university community. Nebraska Wesleyan University encourages and expects the highest standards of academic honesty from all students. The Student Code of Conduct states, cheating, plagiarism, or any other forms of academic dishonesty are subject to disciplinary action. And we're going to refer to the Student Code of Conduct for additional information on that one. Students who fail to properly cite an author or plagiarize will receive a grade of an F for the assignment. Students who work together on an assignment, designated as individual work, will receive a grade of F on the assignment. So, what this means is, anytime, and I expect you to find reference articles, research articles, use your book. Anytime you get anything out of an article, out of the book, you have to in-text cite it. You also have to have a reference list at the bottom, and I expect that out of you. I expect you to do that for every discussion that we have. I expect you to do it for your pathophysiology poster that's coming up. So, and if you have questions about in-text citing, let me know. If you have questions about referencing, let me know. If you have an in-text cite on an in-text cited in your discussion, you have to have a reference. If you have a reference, you have to have an in-text citing. Those two things go hand in hand together. You cannot have one without the other. Hopefully you've gotten some of this already, like in your Archway curriculum, that you've started some of this stuff, but I do expect you to use APA, that's really important, and do the in-text citing and the references so you're not doing plagiarism. Okay? Student assignment submissions. Students are required to submit electronic copy of written assignments. I may request a presentation, an electronic presentation, but probably not. Electronic versions of papers and presentations will be stored for 3 years and then destroyed. Students' work may be reviewed by the nursing program accreditation visitors. So that means when we have somebody come in from an outside agency that accredits us, they may look at some of your work that we're storing, so just so you know that. Electronic portfolio submission. Every nursing student at Nebraska Wesleyan is required to prepare and maintain an online professional portfolio. The portfolio represents key nursing experiences and achievements during the course of study leading to their BSN degree. The portfolio documents academic, professional, and service accomplishments and may include major course papers, projects, case studies, presentations, applied research posters, practicum experience, and other samples of work you've completed. The portfolio is intended to be a useful career tool as well as a means for nursing faculty to access educational outcomes. Building a portfolio is a process that allows one to collect, select, reflect, build on, and showcase your work. Students should start their portfolios when they enter the program. However, students can add documents at any time. Select courses will require that an assignment be submitted to the Digication ePortfolio. These assignments will be indicated by an asterisk. Students should submit the original upgraded version of the assignment to their portfolio. An asterisk is placed by the required elements to be submitted to the portfolio. And we will talk about that as we go through the syllabus. Electronic communication. Students are expected to have access to a computer and check their Nebraska Wesleyan University email on a regular basis. Your syllabus says once a week. I expect it 2 or 3 times a week. When I communicate with you because you're an online class, I usually send an email, and I expect that you're reading them. Okay? The university cannot incorporate personal at-home email accounts into its system, so you can only use your Nebraska Wesleyan account, and that's the only one I will send an email to. When group emails are sent advising students of changes in the course plan, the emails are sent only on the Nebraska Wesleyan University. Okay? Please remember that your Nebraska Wesleyan email is easily accessible from a home computer through your NWU web pages. So that means no matter, you don't have to be on campus to read your emails. You can go home to California or Oregon or wherever you want to and get to your emails on the blackboard, on your computers at home. Students who do not have a home computer can access computers at Nebraska Wesleyan. Assignments made using Blackboard can be completed at a computer at Nebraska Wesleyan. And I'm going to skip the rest because my printer really made a mess of my rest of it. So please read the rest of this electronic communication. Okay? Utilizing online library databases to find articles. NWU has invested in a variety of online databases with full-text options to assist students in their ability to find up-to-date publications. Please be aware that there are at least 3 databases that need to be checked before you request the interlibrary loan. You probably won't need an interlibrary loan for this class, but in case you find something you really truly want, make sure you check 3 other databases before you have the interlibrary loan thing started. The databases vary and many change over time. Please use the online library link for the list of databases. And that link is right here in your syllabus. Okay. There are points awarded for discussion participation attendance in the course. If you do not participate in the discussion or you are late, you will lose the opportunity to earn these points. There are no excused absences. It's an online course. You have a week to get your work done. Okay? Attendance to the discussion board and participation are considered key elements of student success in the nursing program. So we'll talk a little bit about attendance and participation, which we've already kind of started. The student is expected to be present and active in the Blackboard course room at least 3 times a week. So you can't just get in on a Monday and do all your work and then be done with it for a week. You need to be in there reading, discussion, seeing what else is going on. A percentage of the student's grade is based on class participation, which is your discussions. Repeated absenteeism will be reflected in the course grade. Students are expected to be prepared for class and participate in class discussion. And there is a student assessment and self-evaluation rubric, and it's posted on Blackboard with guidelines, so you can take that. So now written assignments. We're still on page 5. We're at the bottom of page 5. All written assignments are to be typed, double-spaced, and proofread prior to submission. Please proofread them. If you get a word like there and you want to say their car doesn't work, that there is T-H-E-I-R. If you put T-H-E-R-E, you're going to lose points for that. The computer spell check won't figure that one out because their spelled either way is right. So you have to go through your discussion and make sure what you're saying is what you want to say and you've got your words spelled right. All written assignments are retyped, double-spaced, and proofread prior to admission. There are specific guidelines for each written assignment, so you'll want to look at those. Written assignments must follow APA guidelines, and no paper copies will be accepted. So the APA guidelines are, how do you do a reference list? How do you do an in-text citation? What font do you use? It's always Times New Roman 12, okay? 12-point font. Although sometimes in Blackboard you can't get that, but if you can, that's what I want you to do. Okay? Late work. Assignments turned in after the due date will receive a deduction of 5 points a day. That's a lot of points. If you're 1 week late, that's 35 points off your grade. Okay? Please see the discussion post for explanation of late work for discussions. Okay? Your course assignments, this is your grading scale. This is the same one that we use all over Wesleyan, so I'm going to let you look at that. You have to have a grade C to pass this course. Okay? Exams. During administration, and this isn't going to count for you except for one thing, which we'll get to, but during the administration of an exam, midterm and final, all personal belongings and resources must be put aside and not used in any way. No hats or caps may be worn during the exam. Faculty will not answer questions during the exam regarding exam content. No cell phone calculators will be allowed during the exam. You are going to do all of your exams online except for one, which we're going to talk about here shortly. The exams have been, the weekly quizzes are 10 questions each out of just the chapter. So if we're studying chapter 5, you'll have 10 questions on chapter 5. You will have 20 minutes to complete that quiz. Okay? When you do your midterm and final, those are all 50 questions. And the midterm is over chapter, I think it's 1 through 6. Or 7, I can't quite remember, 6 or 7, and then the final is over chapters 7 through 14. And they both have 50 questions on them, and you will have 1 hour to do those. So knowing your stuff will help you if you know it so you don't have to go look it all up. Okay? Makeup test, exam, or quizzes, procedures. If a student takes a test outside of the scheduled time, this will be considered a makeup test. So if you know you're going to a wedding on Friday and you're going to be out of town and the quiz hasn't opened up and you want me to open it up for you, I can. But that will be considered a makeup test because you're not taking it within the time frame that I've allowed you to take it. Okay? The test must be made up within 1 week of the original scheduled time, either before or after. The student is to contact the instructor via email or phone to have the exam opened up in Blackboard. So if you're not going to be here for an exam, like I open up all your exams on Thursday morning, like at 00:01, and they stay open till Sunday night at 23:59. So if you're not going to be able to take that exam during those 4 days, and there has to be a good reason, then I'm going to have to open up the exam for you specially. So let me know if that comes up. Let's see. If you do not let me know, it will result in a 0 for that test. A student may miss one test with a grade penalty of 5 points, 5 out of 100, per day, as long as the test is made up within 1 week. If the student misses more than one test, the test may be made up, but the maximum score allowed is 80%, and a late point assessment of 5 points per day is applied. Any further make-up tests are a maximum of 50%. So I would get your tests and quizzes done when you can. The student must achieve a 73% average on all course exams and quizzes before other course assignments will be factored into the final course grade. Scores such as 72.5 will not be rounded up to 73, or will be rounded up to 73%. Scores of less than 72.5 will be rounded down to 72. If the 73% average is not achieved, the student will automatically fail the course. So that doesn't include anything else you do. It doesn't include your poster. It doesn't include nothing. It's just your exams. If you don't get at least a 73 on your average of your exams, you will not pass the course and you'll have to take it again. Okay? So student assessment and grades will be based on the following learning activities. So your discussion questions, there are 11 of them, or 11 weeks worth. They are worth 30% of your final grade. Your midterm exam is worth 10. Your final exam is worth 10. Your weekly quizzes, all of them together, are worth 30%. There is a SAS rubric you will fill out at the end. That's worth 5%. You also have a Kaplan exam. That is worth 10%. And you also have a poster that you will be doing in, I think it's week 11, and that is worth 5% of your total grades. Let's talk a little bit about Kaplan testing, because this is something we're going to put in here, and it is going to be an on-campus test that you have to do here on campus. I am going to put out 2 days for that. It'll be a Monday and a Tuesday, and we'll probably do it later afternoon. I don't know if any of you had used a Google poll, that's not what it's called, a doodle poll. I'm going to send out a doodle poll to find out what time is best on Monday or Tuesday, and you can choose either one, but you're going to have to come to one of these exams one day. It's only one day. You don't have to come to both, okay? The Kaplan testing is worth about 100 points, or 10% of your grade. The exam score is worth 25 points, and review is worth 75 points, or 5%. So this will be more easily explained as we get going, but for right now, I just have this in your syllabus so you can look at it. The students who achieve an 80% or greater on their Kaplan exam will receive all 100 points and will not have to do the review process. These students are expected to review questions missed. Students who receive less than an 80% on the Kaplan exam will need to complete the review process. To receive all the points for the review, the student must complete and turn in the review and analysis form. Complete 2 hours of review and complete a focused exam of at least 25 questions with a score of at least 90%. And the grading scale is right below this, okay? The students who achieve a 70% or greater on the exam will have 3% added to their final course grade. So Kaplan, there is a Kaplan exam that you will do. It is on the computer. It is here on campus that you will do. It is the Monday and Tuesday of Thanksgiving week. We don't have any classes on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So Monday or Tuesday. And I think that we don't have a discussion question that week either, but I'm not really sure. The Kaplan exams, in case you don't know, are kind of a nationwide company that has gone out and made these exam testings to help you. They're set up like NCLEX exams. So you will do this Kaplan exam to kind of get you started. We'll see where you're at with anatomy and physiology, with pathophysiology. And you want to pass this. You want as good a grade as you can get in this. Okay? It's a great learning tool, and we're going to try using it and see how it works. So this will be the only day in this online course that you will have to come to class. Okay? Online discussion evaluation criteria. Oh boy, my printer did a really cool job on this. It is expected that you participate in the discussion forums. each forum, each week that we have a discussion, I think I said there were 11 of them, there is a question that you will answer. Sometimes there's 2 questions, and I want you to pick one or the other, not do both of them. What you'll do, you'll have an initial response to the question, and that's where you'll write out everything you want to, that the question asks. You want to answer what the question is asking you. Okay? That will be due, they'll open up Monday morning early, like at 0001, and the initial response will be due on Wednesday night at 23:59. Okay, so at midnight on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you will respond to a classmate or to myself to one of the initial discussions. Okay, everything needs to be done APA. Everything needs to have references and be cited, because you'll lose points for all of that stuff. Okay? And this just says initial discussions are due by 11:59 on Wednesdays, and a response to at least one classmate is due by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday. Any discussion posts after the 11:59 p.m. deadline will be given 0 credit. So if you don't get your initial response in there Wednesday night by 23:59, you will not get any credit for it. It will be a 0. It is expected that students actively participate in the discussion forums. Each student is expected to read all weekly discussion posts and contribute one initial response discussion post weekly and another participation discussion response to a classmate's posting or mine. Sometimes I get in there and ask a question, and if you respond to me, that might count too, depending on how well you respond. You must make your initial discussion post on a different day than you make your response post. So you cannot go in on Monday and do all of the work. You have to go in on Monday and then go back on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever. I want you in there. I want you reading all the initial discussions, because they're going to help you get through this class. Okay? Initial discussions must answer the discussion question and include at least one in-text citation and a reference list. That's your initial discussion. Okay? Participation posting should include at least one of the following: a citation reference from the literature or an experience that relates to the discussion question. Okay? So if we talk about seizures and you tell me about your sister who had seizures all her life and she was born with them, and you gave her this med and these were the side effects you expected, those are probably not something that you have to reference and cite, because it comes from out of your head. But anything you take out of a book or an article has to be referenced and cited. On the next page, on page 8, this is my grading rubric for your discussion post. So look this really over carefully, because these are where you're going to get your points. Okay? So the first one is your initial posting to Blackboard, and I expect all of this in there or you'll lose points. And then this says response to 2 classmates' initial postings, and with this class we only do 1, so that's okay. Posting timeliness, did you get everything done on time? And then your APA format is in here too. Okay, so this is what I will use to grade your discussion posts. You also have a pathophysiology poster that will be due in week 11. There is a list of what goes into that poster and how you should work for it and what the topics you can do. And there is also a grading rubric. It is all on Blackboard. You can go look at that once everything opens up. Okay. The next thing we're going to look at is your course calendar. So if you could pull that out, it looks like this. Well, you probably can't, I don't know if you can read that. There we go, course calendar. Okay. I have this divided up into weeks and what your assignments and exams are and what your due dates are. So look this over really carefully, and you'll notice like week 1 has a quiz. It also has initial discussions. Week 2, same thing. There's in the middle. Take week 1, for instance. Let's go back there. You're going to read the course syllabus. Well, we're doing that right now as you're going through this. You're going to watch the PowerPoint. There's a PowerPoint for pathophysiology. Actually, there is a PowerPoint for every week for pathophysiology. So look at those. You're also going to read the Introduction to Pathophysiology, which is Chapter 1. You're going to complete learning activities in the Week 1 folder. on Blackboard you have folders and they're divided up into weeks. Please do all the activities in those folders for you. There is also on week 1. Week 1's kind of a busy week. You have APA lessons in week 1. Please look over the APA lessons and follow them because I do. And then you have a discussion. You actually have 2 discussions this week. On the first week you're going to discuss, excuse me a minute, let me just have a drink here. The first discussion will be an introduction to yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What brought you to nursing school? Do you live in Lincoln? Whatever you want to, just tell us something about yourself, and then you will have a week 1 discussion too, and a week 1 quiz. And then week 2 is not quite as long, so you'll have chapter 2 to read, you'll have PowerPoints to do, you'll have a discussion to do, and you'll have a quiz to do. And all of them are outlined very carefully for you. You will notice that on week 6, there is not a discussion that week, and that is because that is the day our midterm is due, okay? All of your tests, like I said earlier, are going to open up on Thursday morning early, like at midnight, and they will stay open until Sunday night at 23:59, okay? The midterm you'll get an hour for. Every other quiz you get 20 minutes for, okay? And then when you get to week 8, you'll see there's some, if you copied it in color, it says looking ahead, you have to start working on your Patho poster. You don't have to wait till week 8 to do your Patho poster. You can start it clear back in week 1 if you want to, okay? And then, now, this semester is always a little odd because Thanksgiving break and the fall break and everything happens kind of funny, and our semester came out a little bit funny too. So what I did was, fall break starts on the Wednesday of week, I think it's week 8, October 9th through the 15th. I think that's when fall break is. So what I did for the next week, because it's in the middle of the week, our fall break will be from October 16th to October 22nd. Well, you won't have any discussion questions or nothing to do. And that's all on your calendar, so you can't miss it, okay? And then on week 11, you will have, your poster will be due. And I haven't quite yet decided if I want it up on the, if I want it in the discussion post or if I want it just extra. Okay, your poster is 5% of your grade, so do a good job on it. And then on, also, let's see, where are we at? On week 13, there's not a discussion that week either. It is the week of Thanksgiving. So you will still have things to do and a quiz, and that is the week we're going to do the Kaplan exams, either Monday or Tuesday. And like I said, I'll send you out a doodle poll, and you'll have about a week to get it done because I'll need to make some arrangements on keeping the library open for us, okay? And the test, the Kaplan exam, will be in the library. And then week 15, we will do our final exam. It'll be due by Sunday, December 10th at 23:59. And then on week 16, you will be done. So that is our syllabus in a nutshell. Please call me if you have any questions. Text me if you have any questions, whichever works best for you. I hope you have a great fall. I will be checking in with you through emails and announcements on Blackboard, so please make sure and check those out. And I think that's it for now. Have a great week, everybody.